Welcome back to the Life in Me, guys. I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you for clicking that button. Mistakes that I made in my early 20s, things that I would have done better if I would have gone back. But I think I want to share this. So, mistake number one, I slept too much, and in my sleeping, I was unable to grow. The cells of my brain were sleeping, so I was really not thinking about my future. And another mistake I made in my early 20s is that absolutely no vision for my life. I had no clue of where I wanted my life to go. I had no clue of what I wanted to see improve in my life in times to come. I just live just like that. And I'm going to tell you, if you are coming up and you want to make difference, first of all, you have to define for yourself, what do you want out of life. So because I had no vision for my life back then, I slept almost my whole teenage time all the way to my 20s. The next mistake that I made is that I stopped growing. I did not have any pursuit. There was nothing that was keeping me up. So it's like when you stop growing, you just start dying. When you stop reading, you stop growing. Out of the courses that I was doing, no other books that I was reading. There was absolutely no other book. I did not read any book about finance, about development, about become a better self, about how to improve. And because I was not growing in my life, I was Irish, and my thinking was very small, and I people could really get to me because I could not control who I am. Like I did not have a better perspective of things and action. So I was not in the right position to make decisions for myself. So growing is something that should be continuously in life. Like if we want to continue, we should always grow. Like next mistake that I made in my early 20s is that um I'm still in my 20s actually, but I'm talking about my early 20s. Another mistake that I really made is that I did depend on people too much. I was so dependent on people, on my sister. Like outside of my sister, there was no life that I was having. There was nothing else of myself that I was doing. I was just consistently, like, wholeheartedly dependent on her. And one thing that I would say is better to try. I was so um glued to this position of depending with, like, I did not know that my life is my 100% responsibility. Like I had no clue that I am responsible for my life. Like at the end of the day, the things that I do, the decisions that I make, the result that I receive, it is mine. I own it. I own my failures. I own my success. People will not share that for me. So I really did not have the mindset. I was broken to the place that being so broke without a dime. So they need to Mother Better one time on Revolution Recovery, and she was talking about how she was so poor that let me slow down in life, and she had to come up. She had to push up herself and all of the thoughts about herself that I cannot do this thing, I cannot do this thing. And she started to sell coal within the platform, and through time the coal, the next thing she started to fix bread, because according to her story, she was so broken down, like to the least that she could not really afford anything for her household. Her husband, I could relate 100% to that story, because though I was caring for me, providing for me, and I was still in my early 20s, but I could have been doing more than that. Like outside of everything that she was doing for me, I could have taken steps to step out, but yet then I was not doing those things. I kept on proud that I ever thought I had in my mind. I was stripped of all of those stuff. So I just like, okay, I'm gonna go for this. I was when I started to look for a job, like I was just looking for anything, because I was stripped of my belief, my thought, like my comfortment. Those things are holding me back. Like I should not move out to do things, to go for things. I should not pursue things. I was dropped all of those beliefs. So I just went out and just started to look for a job. What job was I looking for? I was just basically looking for anything. Like if you have a clothes to wash, I say I'm going to wash. If your children need to get so I was just basically looking for. I just stepped out. That was the time within that same period, that same month, he provided a office job for me. Yes, absolutely. So those are the mistakes that I made. Also, is that I spend most of my days watching movie. Like I watched the series movie from 6 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the morning, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning. Like it was a daily routine for me. Like every day by 6 o'clock, I will be in front of the television and just wasting my life. So those are the number whatever is that I know how to execute patience. I really did not have that I struggle with actually, and it took me time, and I'm still learning. I was anxious to do things like I thought in my life within God's presence. That's how I learned now how to just be patient. But patience was something I need to do everything by myself. So because of that, I thought because I am responsible for the things that happen in my life, like everything, like I should do everything, and I really did not. Just wait a little bit and plan much better. What's the next step and how I should do? I was at this unprepared. I mean, like really unprepared. So I just staged and I left a job and I actually came at this stage. So it took me time to recover. Like it broke me. That was one of the darkest time, like one of the loneliest time of my life. Seriously, I cried my heart out. And I don't know, it took me time. I left and then I went back to the same company, but then I went in another side of the company, not in the same place I was working before. But that was something that I wish if I had the opportunity, I would have done differently. I wouldn't have done it that way. I would have been much more patient because I think I did not have patience. That's why I rushed in life and made that decision. So I'm just think that you need a specific thing to happen at this time. Where at times it can just be God Himself that is taking you to certain place of your life just as a process to process you. Then when He is done with you, then He will give to you that which He has been working on you for. But I was not looking at it from that eyes of God, but instead I just thought that things were not working. So I needed to make them work. And me making it to work, I made it worse. So I just wish I had more patience to just wait on God and just rest in Him. Another mistake that I wish I really regret, and I'm grateful that I'm recovering and recover. I did not put God first in my life. Like the place of God, the place of the Lord in my life was to the least. I had issues, I had problems. I did go to church, but He is faithful to His word, that His word can come alive for me. So I struggled about. So I trusted God more. If I would have put God more in my life in my early 20s, most of the things that I went through, I wouldn't have gone through. Because the Father was going to be guiding me more of His love, was going to make me to know, to be confident and do the things which I really wanted to do. These are not cliche that I'm saying. These are real things that I'm saying, that when you put God first in your life just become to shine in another direction. You never even thought that your life would go up. Like me, I really did not think that I would have a YouTube channel today. But God, since I just let God, you just lead my life. I'm here on YouTube. I'm still on YouTube, and what He's doing, but I just trust His direction, that He is leading me to a place unknown, which only He knows. So I just wish in my life that I knew earlier that God is the creation of all creation. Like He will bring to me those things that I need to have in the right season. So those are the mistakes. And how did I become to change from these things? Number one is the very best place that I reached is I just got fed up with myself. I got fed up that I was not becoming the person that I knew in my spirit that I was destined and I am destined to become. I was not becoming that lady, the queen that I know I am to become. So I was like, okay, this gotta change. And another thing that helped me now to get out of that state of parloring, just being stagnant, is that I found God. I found Jesus, I found the presence of God truthfully. That's when he started to show me that it can be better than what it truly is. So that's why all of my getting account my own mistakes and my own weaknesses, no matter how you doing, that the mistakes that I made in my early 20s. So hope you learn from my mistakes and you start to do things. So if I if of what I can tell my younger self is that so you we have been given another opportunity. This is a new year, another century, another decade again. So you plan your life. So once you have a plan you have, be grateful for what you have, be content with how you are, and be be vigilant so you know who you really want to become and go after.
We are party. It's tricky. Only Fianigu. Only Fianigu. Only Fianigu. Only Fianigu.